Okay.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Megan. See her. My daughter is Claire Elvie, and she is in first grade. We just moved here last August. I am actually from Minnesota, but about 15 years ago, I left the state. I went to college in Montana and then met my husband and had kids in Portland, Oregon, where we lived for 9 years. And now we are back in Minnesota. So this is Claire's first year at Sheridan, and it has been wonderful. Um, I guess sharing something from our culture, something that we like to do a lot is spend a lot of time outside in nature. And I think coming back to Minnesota, I've rediscovered all of the just wonderful things there have been to do outside with my kids this year. So we really are active, and that's something I guess in our culturally we love to be in nature. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share? You prefer to do the form? It's working for you. You can go for it.
I can share next. My
Andrea.
name is Andrea Wilson Vasquez, and I'm one of the incoming families. My daughter
Oh,
Giovanna will be in kindergarten next year at Sheridan. We live in North Minneapolis, so she'll probably take the bus, which will be a whole different experience for her, but we're really excited. And she just drove by Sheridan today, actually, with her grandma. They went to the library, and she was like, "That's my new school." She was really excited, and she like was talking about the murals, and it's just really exciting.
oh, thank you.
Um, yeah, so we're really excited, and we're building the excitement with her too as she finishes up High Five at Loring Elementary and kind of gets ready for next year. So I'm originally from Minnesota. My husband's from Mexico, and something from my culture that makes me proud. My family is kind of from Scandinavia, and similar to like what Megan said, just has always had a real strong tie to the outdoors and skiing actually. And I just got Giovanna excited about skiing this winter, so that was really fun.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you for having the space. I'm really glad to be here. And my husband might be in on the Spanish speaking one, so you might get double duty from our family.
That's great. Thank you for coming, Andrea. Welcome to the team, to the
Thank you.
family.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Sonia, I don't know if you want to
I'll
share.
share. I'll share. I'm Sonya Perez Lauterbach. I have a first grader, Emil, and he's been there since High Five. Let's see, something that I'm not originally from Minnesota. I'm from Colorado. Met my husband in Chicago, and he's kind of from Arizona, so we're kind of nomads, not from Minnesota. But what I liked about our family culture, like that what we've really embraced, as we kind of create our family, is just doing adventures together and always learning. Like that just seems to be something that we love to do. And my husband is a resident. We've gotten to he got to practice medicine internationally last year, or picked up a baby, and I also have a two. I guess he's almost 4, but gone internationally. And we just embrace adventure.
Great. Thank you, Sonia. So, Senora, you want to go ahead on Miss Aiden to share?
I was hoping to get a turn. So I am Senora Guzman. Very proud to be the school principal, one of the leaders in our school. I am from a beautiful small tropical island in the Caribbean called Puerto Rico, and just I moved to the U.S. when I was an adult, so I learned English at the age of 22. And something that I'm very proud about my culture is what family means. I have no blood family in Minnesota. I've never had blood families in Minnesota, but we are very strong with creating groups and bonds with individuals that feel like family. And when we say family is, we will do anything and everything that is needed to make sure that we all care for and love for. So very proud of that Puerto Rican side of me.
Thank you, Senora.
And I'm Andrea Iden. I'm the assistant principal here at Sheridan. And I'm originally from South Dakota, from a small little town. And something I would just say about my family, my culture is we're always, I think it was the other Andrea, spelled differently. I love that. That never happens to me. But is that process of learning, and something that we're doing right now just in our family is like playing games and learning strategy. And it's just exciting and fun for my kids to be able to learn in that way. So.
Great, thank you, Miss. I can share too, so we all get. So I'm Liliana Rodriguez. I'm originally from Venezuela. Venezuela. I say slow because some people say Minnesota when you say fast. I don't know why. So Venezuela, and then came in 2000. So I also learned English, pursue my career in education. I love what I do. Something that makes me proud of my culture is the different ways we can express ourselves, from music to food. Anything we put out is expression who we are. So music, singing, joking, sharing with others. So we are very kind of, some people might say loud people, but yeah, we try to express who we are and share with others. So that's something that made me proud. So thank you. And with that, I don't know, Senora, I have something prepared for you about bilingualism and brain development. And I don't want this moment to sound like a lecturing class in college, because that's not it. So even though you're going to see kind of a lot of text in it, I actually can share this with you later, send you this document so you can read it closely. I just want to just point out some things.
Liliana, do you mind projecting so we see the bigger
Yes.
screen? I'm over 40, so I have a hard time with small fonts.
I know. I know. Yeah, I know. Expecting you all to read this. Not even me gonna read this. I just gonna point out the most important thing we can talk about: benefits for the brain and being bilingual. So this research comes from actual imaging of the brain from bilingual and monolingual people. They can see the strong impact being bilingual have on the complex brain functions. This is the part of us that's separate from animals, basically. So problem solving skill, creativity, invention. So how they figured it out that bilingualism has an impact, as I said before, is through imaging. So they noticed that there were more gray area of the brain. The gray matter actually is more denser. So that means that there are more cells on their areas. That's a sign of a healthy brain. So here, there's actually images that they're showing. This is the monolingual person, and the areas they have kind of like that denser gray area, but they can see all the different areas, either both sides of the brain, left and right side of the brain, that are more denser than a monolingual person. Also, we have something called the white matter that is also part of the brain. So bilingualism promotes the integrity of white matter as you age. So this is something very related to even Alzheimer's disease or any degenerative disease later on when you're aging. So they notice that bilingual people have more healthy brains, and some kind of illnesses can be delayed. So sometimes, like Alzheimer's, there's no actually cure, but delayed in some bilingual people. Something important. This is like a coming back to biology class 101. They talk about the connection of the neurons. The brain is mostly electricity, and probably Andrea and Senora can help me with that. So that part, that connector part that can allow you transfer information from one neuron to the other is when the white matter is located. So is have an impact on white matter, so we can have, our child can have children a healthier brain through being bilingual. So this is kind of a quote that go even beyond the physical kind of impact of bilingualism. That say that the benefit of being bilingual go beyond the ability to communicate in another language, because sometimes we think that's the end, and that is not really what we're trying to accomplish with our kids. It's also give our children a broader perspective of the world, and that's what we actually want to achieve with them.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick. And if you felt like you were in a science class, how many times did we think? Anyone here in the science field before I go on?
Have somebody in the room, and
Miss Ida and I sometimes joke around the content areas that we teach in elementary school, and then how many times we've heard adults say, like, I don't know why I took this class. I don't need it to become such and such, and what we do know about education is that it is we are like that onion that has so many layers to make who we are and what we are. And being able to understand the way the brain functions, it's so crucial to how we teach and what we teach. So I've heard also, I've been in education for a few years only. I'm not going to date myself. But I've heard many people say teaching is an art. And my push to that is it's a scientific art, because there is a science to it. Mm-hmm. So what Liliana is just sharing is so important for us to understand that being bilingual has many benefits, but it's one more way among many others, right? The structures of learning that helps our brains stay healthy and strong. It's not the only way, but it has more benefits than just being able to speak that language. So thank you, Liliana, for bringing the science in.
Yeah, I try my best. That's not my expertise, but.
Anyone has any questions or comments about that?
I love that. That's awesome. I know it expands their perspective of the world, but I didn't know there was actual physical changes that occur. It's very cool.
So the next thing is pretty short, pretty sweet, but that's something it has to be talked. It's about the false statements you might hear around, or we call the myth about bilingualism. One of the things is that bilingualism causes language delay. Actually, we in the field, we don't even label that way. It's not a language delay, just their own child pacing that they need to process both languages.
Okay, so let's be honest. How many of you have ever heard that before? All right, I got 3. Okay, yeah. 4. All right.
Yes.
Go ahead,
so
Liliana.
It's actually, you see all that brain development, what it means. The brain is adjusting to do language. The brain is making sure all those coding of the different language get processed. So that demands time. It's like you're doing a task. It's the same thing. You demand time to finish your task. The brain needs time. Some kids, our children are unique. Some kids take more time than others. So we just understand that as a normal pacing time that every individual child goes through, especially in bilingual programs. So now you can tell anyone that repeat that's totally normal for the brain to take the time to process both languages. Then we have another one that's very popular. I say learning Spanish all the time. We call that my child will acquire high proficiency in English. This is a totally myth, because the studies have been proved that it's a process. So I won't tell you something like by the end of kindergarten, your child will be completely bilingual, because that's false. Even us, we're still learning. We are still processing both languages. We're still learning. It's a long-term process. So that never ends. So learning Spanish also the studies are shown by the age of pretty much a late elementary grade levels, middle school grade level, we notice how our students overperform any student in a monolingual program. So that's why it's a long-term commitment. So your child can actually go through that process and keep developing both languages. But this is not true when people say that the student won't perform well in English. Senora, you want to add something before I move on?
I'm doing good.
Okay. A four myth, this is totally off. This is number 3. Sorry. Okay, imagine 3 and 4. So the third myth, that's another one very popular. People say when children start mixing the language, oh my gosh, they're mixing, they're not even speaking Spanish, they're not even speaking English. So they're having trouble. Probably I need to pull my child off. No, that's another sign that brain is working in the way it's supposed to work. So the brain is trying to understand when use one language and the other. And this is totally normal for emerging bilingual children to mix and change from one language to the other. So you might hear your child say, "Hey, mommy, take me to the parque." Oh, ma, look a carro. So that's totally normal. It's a good sign that brain is decoding and trying to figure it out when to use one language at the other. And the number 4, that I say 5, supposed to be 4, is you want your child to speak the majority language. So in this case, we talk about English. You should stop speaking your home language with your child. So this doesn't apply probably to you guys because you speak mostly at home in English. But this applies, for example, we have families that speak Spanish or even Mon language at home or Somali language at home. We always encourage, no, that's a mistake. Always keep reading to your child. In your case, even though your child is learning how to read in Spanish, you always encourage your child. You keep doing what you're doing. Just reading your own language at home, sharing with your child at home, asking them questions, because the literacy skill is there common among both languages. So anything they learn from you, they're going to transfer and they're going to apply to the other language. So just keep going with that.
Liliana, I know we are short in time, but I just want to say something connected to the last myth. As a parent, I've heard many parents be concerned about how can I have my child enrolled in a dual language program when I don't speak that language at home? I can't help them. I can't help her with homework. And what I want to say to parents is, your role is to help them with your home language. So continue to expand the vocabulary in whatever that language it is. At school, we'll support with the target language, which in this case is Spanish. So that's how we do a teamwork. We do one here, and then at home it's a different setting. So you do what you love to do most.
Thank you, Senora. And this is just sharing some way you can support your cat, keep supporting you, because I know many of them you're already doing. So as I said before, it's a long-term commitment because the bilingualism process is a lifelong learning experience. So long-term commitment to bilingual education, read at home with and to them, to your child. Check the word they are bringing home and ask them questions. It could be in your own language. What did you learn today? And that way their brain is going to process and translate to you. So we know that knowledge is in there in the other language. This, of course, is not applicable right now, sadly, but in the future you can volunteer at school. That's another way to support your child. You can see how things work in the classroom. Expose your child to places where they can hear Spanish and not only hear the language, learn about the culture, because this is a holistic process. Watch movies in Spanish and question. Always rely on your teachers. And you can rely on me, Senora, administrators, Miss Aiden. Anytime you have a question related to your child, cognitive development and acquisition of the language, we can support you on that. And this is the part when you can ask any question or share anything that's in your mind. I want to stop presenting so I can see your face.
I had a question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as an incoming family to Sheridan, if there will be a way for students to get like a tour or to kind of get connected a little bit and start to get the inside scoop about Sheridan.
Yes, actually, our family liaison, we got an Leonardo. He gonna start doing tours. So, Andrea, if you can give me your phone number, so I can contact you. I can connect you with Leonardo, so you can set up that appointment and you can come to our building.
And there's always opportunities. I just want to put a plug in for PTO right now to be able to connect in the larger community. Sonia's here, and so she would be a great parent partner to connect with as well. But we are hopeful that we will have a spring event as well to be able to really bring our community together, because that is something we have missed desperately over the last year.
I'm my daughter's little brother. So my son is, we've signed him up to come to High Five. Do you know when we'll find out that because we don't live in the Minneapolis district or the area for the school. Do you know when we'll find out if he's going to be able to go to the school with Claire?
Senora, maybe have a better answer.
Yes. So let me ask you, Megan. Did you apply for Lottery 1? And
I applied in January.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
And what did you hear back?
I heard that he did not get our choice there, but I called and spoke to Patricia, who is amazing, by the way. I love calling your school because I love talking to her. She made me feel so much better. So April, is that, I mean, I guess my question is what's the likelihood that he gets to go to the same school? So or should we look for another one? Okay.
No, it's a great question, Megan. It's a great question. I just want to know what you heard. So what we know as of right now is that families that apply for the lottery the first time around and did not get placed in the first request, but have siblings in our school, for lottery number 2, which is coming up in April, they're going to give preference to those families that first heard no. They want to keep families together. So there's different criteria for Lottery 1. Now the Lottery 2 is to keep families together. So most likely, because you have Claire with us, that Lottery 2, you'll get the yes. Now, and you don't have to reapply, because everyone that went through the first lottery, those names will carry on to the second one.
Okay. I guess I didn't know there was a 1 and a 2. What?
It's the first time ever. It's the first time ever that we have Lottery 2, and that is because of CDD.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Megan, I'm in the same boat. I have a soon to be 4-year-old that so we're waiting in April too.
Okay. So we'll, because Emil was in Claire's class, so we'll have kids in the same classes. Fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, and Simon is very excited, the same as you, Andrea. Every time we drive past Claire's school, he's like, "Oh, that's gonna be my school. Where's the classrooms?" And so we like point out windows because I don't actually know, but somewhere in there. So he's very excited, but I don't want to get too excited if we're not going to be going there.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's great meeting you, Andrea. Megan, it's good seeing you.
Nice to see you.
Sonia, it's good to see you. Sonia, you look so much younger with that haircut.
Yeah.
Like 15 years younger.
It is like, so cute.
It is. I'm like, do I have a high school kid here? No, wait, it's Sonia. It looks great. It looks great. I really like that haircut. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Liliana, for putting this together as always.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, for them. April 1.
Oh, she left.